Hi, my name is Chelsea Metcalf. Do you believe guns help us more than they hurt us? If not, I'm here to persuade you that they do help us more than they hurt us. So, let's talk about guns. If someone were to break into your home with a Glock 19, what would you do? You would want to protect yourself, right? And how are you going to do that when you don't allow guns in your home? The intruder isn't going to leave because your house is a gun-free zone. The intruder is going to think that he hit the jackpot because he's going to know that there's nothing you can do to stop him. And that is just like shooting a fish in a barrel. They can't defend themselves in any way. Harvard University conducted a study that found that countries with more guns have less crimes than countries with fewer guns. So here's some fun facts about guns in the U.S. They're number 1 in the world for gun ownership, yet number 28 for gun murders per 100,000 people. Gun sales have exploded over the past 20 years, yet homicides with firearms have went down 39%, and other crimes with firearms have went down 69%. So, overall, guns are used 80 times more often to prevent crime than they are to take lives in the U.S. And criminals will be criminals, with or without a gun. In 1994, the Justice Department did a study with banning assault weapons. The study concluded that the ban did nothing to reduce crime or shootings. And you can do your research and find out that the media only reports and televises the bad business that happens with guns. The good sides are never shown. For example, in 2006, a robber entered Medium Madhouse in Indiana holding a gun on an employee, demanding for money. Then a second employee jumped into action and shot the robber, saving both employees and their customers. And guns aren't the only things that can kill people. In September of this year, a D.C. woman was jogging and was stabbed to death for no apparent reason. And if she would have had a gun to defend herself, do you really think that would have happened? And have you ever thought about allowing our teachers and administrators to carry guns? Maybe then intruders would be more afraid to come into our schools and shoot. We could post signs outside the school warning people that the faculty and staff is armed. The school shootings would stop, and if they didn't completely stop, then the situation could be handled so much quicker. We could prevent school shootings like the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting from happening. There are more stories just like this one that show that we need guns to help us. I know I will always have my gun just so I can protect myself. So let's switch it up for a second to third world countries. They're all socialistic countries. No freedom and no Second Amendment, which means no guns, no way to defend themselves. And this is why terrorism is so out of control in these countries. So we send our troops for help, yet what if we can't defend ourselves? We will become a third world country. And do you remember the beginning of our country, when militaries were formed to fight for the freedom of our country and the Second Amendment? We couldn't have fought for our freedom without the Second Amendment. And here's another way to look at it. You like to eat, right? Not all food comes from the grocery store. Some people hunt for their meat. It's cheaper to buy a tag to hunt than buying meat at a store knowing wild game lasts nearly a year. American hunters are the world's largest army. In 2017, there were 36.8 million hunters hunting in the U.S. These men and women deployed to go hunt, and not a single person was killed. So people need guns to eat and to defend themselves. Not to mention, we need guns to defend our one nation under God. America will always be safe from foreign invasion with this kind of homegrown firepower. You may not believe in God, and that's your choice. And you may not believe in guns, and that's your right. But the first thing you're going to do if there is an invader breaking into your home is call someone who does, and pray they get there in time. We live in the greatest country in the world. And the reason is because we have the right to bear arms. So I'm going to ask you again, do you think guns help us or hurt us? Thank you for your time.